Hello friends. Well, at the end of 2024, I coloured in a few pages from Hide and Seek. Well, I think that was one of them, from Hide and Seek specifically, and you guys had such a good reaction that I decided to start up in 2025 Colour Club, which is a collection of 6 illustrations each month that I would colour, video and put up on YouTube. So I thought let's go through all of the illustrations that I did in 2025. Now there are a few, so it's going to be a bit of an epic video, but let's do it. So I'm going to start with Hide and Seek, because Hide and Seek was a 2024 book that I really loved. It's just full of little stories about hide and seek themed illustrations. And what did we do? We did this one, Preparing for the Hunt, obviously an Easter illustration, hoo-hoo markers and a little bit of polychromos. So there we go, Preparing for the Hunt. What else did we colour from Hide and Seek? Well, I coloured this one, Aussie Summer, but in a twist of fate, the videos were corrupted and I couldn't use them, so I had to colour it again. Which I didn't mind, because I got to do 2 versions of the Aussie Summer. And this one was sort of fun too, because it's got this prawn action as opposed to the sausage action. This is the daytime, this is the nighttime, so this one gives fireworks. So it was a good problem to have. So there's another 2025 illustration. And this one, Hide and Seek, Dastardly Decorations, was the 4th illustration that I did in 2025 in Hide and Seek. So that's Hide and Seek, a fun book. If you haven't got it, you should check it out. There's a little Santa one, Wrapping Up Christmas, but that was a 2024 relay. Of cool little stories going on there. All right, let's move on. Let's jump to Christmas 2025. Winter Wonder. This is the most successful book that I've launched. You guys loved it, so I'm really thankful. Now, Winter Wonder is a winter theme book. There are some Christmas vibes occasionally, but mostly it's just winter. And we have coloured a couple. This was the first one I coloured in Winter Wonder, called Pumpkin Spice Latte. And I'm really happy with how it came out. I love the orange contrasting with the greens, and the greens sort of look like the glass that you'd find in an Art Nouveau cafe. Cats all happening here. I did toss up the duplicates with a difference version as dogs, but I decided to go with the front version. And the second one we did as we rolled into Christmas was Hurry Up Santa. And I stuck with traditional Christmas colours. We've got the red, the green and the gold. A little bit of blue. We've got snow, we've got sparkles in the sky, we've got impatient elves, Mrs. Claus trying to keep things on track, and Santa doing his best to wrap a present for Mrs. Claus. So that's Winter Wonder. There are a lot of fun pages in Winter Wonder. And I've seen a lot of you guys colour them, and they look magnificent. Well, that was Winter Wonder. What else did we colour in 2025? We coloured from Steampunk Revival, which was launched in 2025. So of course we're going to colour it. Now, Steampunk Revival was a book that was celebrating 5 years of me publishing colouring books. I published a book called Steampunk Houses. It was my first colouring book. And I wanted to go back and revisit that steampunk thing, but I wanted to do it in a way that was also including the way we were drawing our books in 2025. So it's sort of a steampunk-edged, cool, fun book. And here we go. Brisk Walk. We coloured this in first from this book. This is a dragon being walked. It's always fun, steampunk fashion. Look at this dress, fantastic. A couple more we've got from this book. So let's flick through. I really want to colour this one. And this is Overtime. It's our wizard. He's been in a couple of books now. And he tends to be a little bit of a favourite, but I really loved the composition of this page. And this little dragon wrapped around what's that thing called? Crystal ball, there you go. That wrapped around the crystal ball. A couple of light sources. Lots of fun gold to play with. Fun. And this one is the nanny. It's what the nanny would take the kid for a walk in a steampunk world. Because of course they're not going to push the pram, are they? They're going to have rigged it into a machine. This little dog's not convinced about the whole setup. But just, once again, the fun composition with this bridge and the bridge in the background, bringing your focus up into that picture. So yeah, that's Steampunk Revival. I am going to be colouring this in 2026 on my January Colour Club pack. And I'm really looking forward to it. Steampunk Revival. Let's go back a little bit further. Lost in Time. Lost in Time was also a 2024 release. And it's Mr. Fogarty. We'd recently sent him around the world in 2024, but in 2025 we sent him into time. He got lost in time. He created a time machine and flicked himself into time where he does tend to get lost. So let's have a look. One Frog Hamlet. This is my Shakespearean Mr. Fogarty. Nice rich colours here, this green. I coloured the green in and then went over it with the pencils to get this sort of shaded effect of the people, the crowd in the background there, which was really fun. This is another one I think would be awesome to colour. Oh, Mr. Fogarty, breaking hearts wherever he goes. Time-space conundrum. So this is where he meets himself, which is something you should never do if you're travelling in time. He meets himself, Snail meets himself, and of course the time-space continuum explodes, which sucks Mr. Fogarty into a vortex. And then we also coloured this one, Alien Intervention, and I can't resist drawing and colouring aliens, so that was fun. The alien saves him and sends him into the distant future, which is where he is here. You know, the distant future, they seem to be back into pastels, bright colours. Looks like an 80s revival meets a science fiction 70s vibe or something going on here. There's a little bit of bleed through that I forgot to put a sheet on this page. That was Lost in Time, Mr. Fogarty. We all love Mr. Fogarty. All right, now this book wasn't released in 2025. I think it was released in 2024. Yeah, 2024. Mountain King, but we did colour it in 2025. Yeah, it's a fabulous book, especially if you love all things fantasy. Now this is an illustration called The Enchanted Gate, and I'm really fond of the really dark sky reflecting or contrasting with the light wall. We've got a dark dragon working through it all this stonework, a little bit of gold in it. Maybe you can see the gold. Enchanted Gate, and straight into Television. Now this is one where we had fun light sources to play with. So we do have this fire, which we made glow around the underside of the bridge and around the monsters down here. We've also got this lamp, which is glowing on the back of the oxen creature. And, yeah, it's fun to play with light sources, so it's a fun colour along to watch if you're into wanting to know what to do with light in your picture. And then this one called Phoenix. Well, that was just fun. Look at those birds, just about to burst into fire. I think that's what we coloured in 2025 from Mountain King. And then we step straight back to Mr. Fogarty around the world. Now this is a story about Mr. Fogarty who makes a wager with his friends at the club, at the Reform Club, that he can make it around the world in 80 days, which of course sets the scene for him to travel to all over the place. I've coloured in one of his stops, which was Venice. We love the light shining through the murky sky, reflecting on the water. And this stonework around the edge was great fun to do. You can see Snail in the boat here. Mr. Fogarty sketching along happily. What else is in around the world? Oh, some more romance for Mr. Fogarty. In Egypt, we're floating in boats. Pangolin palanquin. So Mr. Fogarty has to make alternative arrangements because the railway wasn't working and he needed to get to Calcutta. So he's taken a ride on a palanquin. Did a lot of pencil work here. Once again, we did do a hoo-hoo underpinning. But it was fun to get these scales all looking really awesome. And I love the vibrancy of the palanquin. And what else did we draw? Well, we drew it all, but what else did we colour? Home at Last. Now this is Mr. Fogarty back at home. Everything's good because he's got his clocks. And I think maybe all the clocks were a bit of a hint towards what was happening in his next book, Lost in Time. Lovely rich. Looks like a velour lounge or a leather lounge in that red. He does tend to like a bit of a purple suit for some reason, Mr. Fogarty. I'm not sure what that's about, but that was around the world. All right, let's go back even further to Serendipity. Now, this is a fun little book. I think I released this book around coming into Christmas, like a November sort of stage, so quite fond of that cover. And this is Just in Time for Tea. It's obviously an Alice in Wonderland inspired illustration with this door which drags your interest into the background there, and went with some purples, blues, golds, a little bit of pink for the roses and the potions which say drink me. I don't recommend that you do that. And Wild is the music. I think this is the first one that I coloured in this book, and I do love the duplicates with a difference for this is got a whole different scene going on in the background. But I like this scene. I like the horse. It's fun to bring those purples in, the oranges and the blues sort of contrasting with a bit of purple. It's a fun little illustration. Now, what else did we colour? Coloured quite a few from Serendipity. Oh, night lights. It's another one where we have lots of light sources. We try to get those reflections through this glass and down the front here. I was really happy with how this one came out. It's another good one to colour along to if you're wanting to work out light sources and working that into night skies and things. And finally, Christmas gifts, where we have our little rhinoceros who's knitting warm things, warm woolens for all her friends, who looks like they live in the hot desert. Serendipity, Lost and Found. I keep bringing these books out and going, oh, this is another favourite. They're all other favourites. So I'm really fond of Lost and Found. Once again, it's like Hide and Seek is Hide and Seek themed illustrations. Lost and Found is Lost and Found. We've got Key to My Heart. We've got The Rescue. Maps. So Mr. Fogarty's even in this book. Mr. Fogarty's quite prolific. He gets out and appears in books that aren't his own. So not sure if that's a good thing, but Mr. Fogarty seems to like it. This is Lost in the City, and he's given up his purple suit. He's wearing a red suit today, I guess to match his bike. He's a colour-coordinated sort of frog. One day I'm going to colour in the Lost in the Forest version of this. Lost in the Woods, sorry. That's the duplicates with a different version, so it is very different. He's wearing different things, he's carrying different things, doing different things, there's different scenes in the background. The flowers have turned into skulls. I think Lost and Found was where I was really getting into my duplicates with a difference being really different. All right, wrong turn. How could I not colour this one in? Look at that Cadillac. And these cats have obviously turned down the wrong street and they're in Dogtown and they're getting eyeballed. And they're looking a little bit worried as they're being followed by many dogs. And you'll notice in Dogtown there are many fire hydrants. And colouring that in pink, what other colour would you colour that? And the Lost and Found. So here we have our little officer who's working the Lost and Found office, probably at a railway station. And the shelves are filled with things that have been handed into the Lost and Found. And he's obviously got a little teddy bear. There are fun things like little keys. That looks like a Mr. Fogarty quietly sitting in the shelf there. Man, he can't even stay in his own illustrations. He goes all over the place. So that's Lost and Found. That's what we coloured from Lost and Found in 2025. Let's go to Moonlight Mischief. I have updated the cover on this, so the little dragons are gone and there's a little rabbit here. And I think I added a moon in. But basically it looks the same. This is just the book I had that I started colouring in, so I've continued to colour in it. I think this was the first one I coloured, called Busted. And we have this little grocery shop, which is being burgled by an intrepid rabbit, but he has been busted. And this is another one where we have a light source behind the door, in this red door. It was very, very fun. What else do we have? Moonlight Mischief. Oh, this one. Larry Visits the Oracle. This is one of my favourites. Pages that I coloured, I think. I'm really, really fond of this illustration. Just because it's such a fun scene. You've got the Oracle glowing with all these henchmen around him, or her, probably her. And Larry, with his friends, has come to the Oracle for word of wisdom. One of his friends has decided that they're not hanging about. And with all of these Venus flytraps and things, I don't think I would be either. We had these lamps hanging and we had the glow behind the praying mantis. It was great to get that vibrancy into that picture. And straight away we're into Starcatcher. I love this one because it was a little bit whimsical. You've got this flying turtle with jellyfish and we're in the sky and there are fish and she's catching a star in this little flower staff with the moon behind her. So a completely fantastic scene, but it just appealed to me. Plus she's wearing this fabulous coat, which I happily made metallic. And doing this tortoise shell, of course, was just so much fun. And all of these little things on the turtle. Look at that face. So beautiful. All right, that was Moonlight Mischief. And then straight back to Mr. Fogarty. My goodness. All right, we did some pages from Mr. Fogarty in the Infernal Combustion Engine. Mainly because I wanted to colour in a motorbike. And this border is very intriguing, sort of like a steampunky contraption vibe. He's wearing his motorcycling gear. It's ready to go. Managed to do the opposite yellow on this one. Fun. What else did we colour? We coloured in Plain Air. Now I wanted to play with watercolour for some reason, so I just printed it out on a thick sheet of oil paper. splashed that in the sky. I had ink. Anyway, I did a colour along on this. It's fun to watch, so fun to play with watercolours for a change. And we did colour one other page. Oh, that's when I want to colour in the pub. I can get to this page, I can. Charmed. And of course the snake is the hero of this page. Really fun to play with, getting those scales all sort of glowing, putting a blend through each of the scales. That was Mr. Fogarty in a frog's tail. All right, let's move on. Moving on, Christmas tiny homes. Oh, we did some 2025. I did this before 2025. And this is a fun page because I think that one's in Derwent Inktense, this one's in Polychromos, and this one's in markers, hoo-hoo markers, maybe with some pencils over the top. So I just wanted to show that you could colour in all the different mediums and get really similar results. All right, what else did we colour? 2025, we coloured An Unexpected Guest. Oh, Mr. Fogarty again. Look at him. He's dominating. So Mr. Fogarty's out having his morning hot chocolate, trying to enjoy the brisk morning air, and is looking like he's being imposed upon by his hippie friend, who has brought what looks like all of his clothes to stay for a while. I think Mr. Fogarty's a generous soul. I don't think he'd mind. We have snails up here. One snail, maybe one's another snail imposing. A little bird, a little mouse. I was happy with this little apple and this little pumpkin, and of course the sunflowers. All right, what else did we colour from this book? We coloured East, which is a Santa Claus. Santa Claus is on a stalk in the east, and he's flying. And I think this was based on one of those blue willow china plates. So I coloured it as a blue willow china plate. Now these are fun, like north, south, east and west. I should colour all of them and make it a set. And what else did we colour from here? We coloured the butcher shop. So the back half of Christmas Tiny Homes is actually not duplicates with a difference. It is a full Christmas village that you can cut out. It's got assembly instructions, so you can colour it in, you can cut it out, and you can make all sorts of fun village things. So this is the one I did, the butcher shop. I didn't do it from the book. I printed it out onto some thicker card, wrote a little thing, gave it an open door. I don't think it would be fun to cut out all the windows and put a light inside. My favourite thing is this sausage and these little dogs at the back window. All right, that's Christmas Tiny Homes from 2025. All right, we keep going. Forest Song. Finally got some Forest Song colour-alongs done in 2025. We did the Book Belongs To page, and for some reason, I coloured in two of my Forest Song books. I tried to have one to colour in and one just to keep, but I got a little bit confused, I guess, and coloured in two books. But so now I've put a little red sticker on the corner of the books I'm colouring so I don't get carried away in the future. But we did do Temptation. Now this is the Duplicates with a Difference page of this, and I did that because the Duplicates with a Difference version is a little bit different. It had the black border and it didn't have the black sky, and there's a little bird in the corner which I'm quite fond of, so I wanted to have the blue in the sky and the bird, so I went with the Duplicates version. And I really love the contrast of the cold, cool twilight night forest and then the vibrant, warm house and border. Right. Forest Song. They're my two from Forest Song. And we didn't miss out on Dragon Dreams in 2025. In fact, I think we went pretty hard on Dragon Dreams in 2025. It's no secret that I'm quite fond of dragons. We started with Sea Dragon, which of course had to be green. I did use some spattering of acrylic on a bristle brush just to get this sort of wave, the salt spray, this beautiful blend with a colourless blender in the sky and these waves. Lots of fun. Still fond of that one. And this is another one we did in 2025, Winter. And this was Fire and Ice. I don't know if you picked that up, if you've looked at the book. We've got the ice and we've got the fire. And so I wanted the dragon to be like a combination of the fire and ice. And we also have this red fox, and I was going to make that jacket red. So I've got the reds and the cool blues. And I coloured this background in black just to make it all pop. And we also coloured in Spring, which is a different sort of vibe to winter. So we did the same thing as we did in Christmas Tiny Homes. We had north, south, east, west. Here we've got spring, some winter, spring, summer and fall. Once again, we should do that, shouldn't we? Yeah, lovely purple dragon watching her little babies hatch. with a bit of a floral spring vibe going on. Dragon Dreams. Still holding its own. What a fun book that is. Now this is Night Garden. Now this is the book that really took off. Such a fun book. And we coloured in 2025 Elven Home pink horses, pink Pegasus with lavender wings. Why not? And I matched that colour through the forest here. I was really happy with how these trees worked in with that blue sky. And the little house in the forest is always just going to be a fun thing to colour in, isn't it? All right, what else have we got? Cherry blossoms. Oh, of course there are cherry blossoms. We want a dragon to match the cherry blossoms. And we've got our Japanese garden with its little temple. Waterfalls, bridges, herons. And these guys are just out for a little walk. So they are the two I coloured in 2025 from Night Garden. Bring out the next book, Fantasy Tiny Homes. Now I did update Fantasy Tiny Homes in 2025. Or was it before that? I think it was before that. This now has duplicates with a difference, which is always a good thing. So I went back, and as I was doing the duplicates with a difference, I couldn't help myself. I redrew some of the illustrations entirely. So now if you've got the book without the updated illustrations, you have a collector's edition, so lucky you. But this is one of the ones that I updated, Observatory, and made it a little bit sort of steampunky, Victorian, and once again got carried away with my metallic ink pens. But this telescope is just a wonderful, wonderful thing to colour in, and of course we've got a night sky. Should put some stars in. I think I meant to do that, but I forgot to do it. One day I'll do it. Small Tudor bedsit. This is another one of the pages that were updated in the duplicates with a difference update on this book. I think this used to be a little car. It was like a car mobile home, and these guys were sitting in front of it having a sort of a tea. But I thought if they're having tea, they should have a teapot house. So I changed it all up, added heaps of flowers. And you can just feel that cast iron furniture that's spray painted that everyone has in their gardens. Fabulous. This was really fun to colour. All right. What else did we do? We did the boot house. Now this one was, the background is always a challenge, isn't it, when you've got so much space to fill in. So we went with a sunset blending into a blue sky. Went with the primary colours here, blue, yellow, green, red. Just played on that theme. And that's everything we did in 2025 from Fantasy Tiny Homes. Then we did do Pirates. Now Pirates is another book where I have redrawn or revisited it because I went to do duplicates with a difference. And then I couldn't help myself. I redrew a couple of the illustrations. Not this one because it was awesome. Also not this one because it was also awesome. This one's a full redraw. And a couple of others have been redrawn. And this is one of the ones that was redrawn. There was these two guys and I think a little love heart. But I wanted to have a scene in the love heart. So I just blew that up and put this beautiful scene in, which of course I then coloured. So this was coloured in 2025. I wanted that fun sunset blend from yellow right through to dark blue, and we just matched those colours in the Pirates. You're obviously in love. And I also coloured Pipe Dreams. Now I coloured the duplicates with a difference version, which is different to the original version, which is this. Things have changed in the waves. He's wearing a different outfit. The little seagulls looking the other way. But I think I coloured this in because I wanted to showcase the duplicates with a difference had been added to Pirates. So that I did two from Pirates for 2025. And we're still going. Steampunk Houses. Now, Steampunk Houses, we did a couple of pages. I started out with the Powerhouse, just because it's one of my favourite illustrations. It's one of the first that I did in this vibe, in this style. So I thought I'd colour it just to have fun with it. Once again, I did accidentally colour in both of my books. But this is the original version. And this is the updated version because this has got duplicates with a difference now as well. So I think we coloured one of the duplicates with a difference. We did the Toxic House. I made it more toxic. I added a zombie. I added more barrels of toxic waste and clouds of sulphurous gases which surround our toxic house. So it gave me an excuse to use my fluoro yellow marker, which you don't often get an excuse to use, do you? So I made the most of it. I was very happy with how toxic that page looked. Well, that was Steampunk Houses. All right, let's move on. What have we got? Tiny Tales. Let's start with Volume 1. Now, we did quite a lot of these because I did a Tiny Tales illustration to colour in my Colour Club pack every month. So So let's go. This is volume 1, which is birds, bugs, bees, blooms, animals, and snail. And I did colour this page from the animals section, which is this little giraffe with a treehouse in Africa and some turtle action. I'm quite happy with this guy who's fishing. Look at the look on his face. I'm not sure he's winning. This one's just gone to sleep. He's had enough. We did these guys also from the animal section. And this is a little marmot from, I think this is from Lost in Time. He was one of the characters from Lost in Time, from the court of Louis XIV, where Mr. Fogarty found himself. And here we've got a little snail shepherd, but that uniform just takes the win on that page, I think. All right, we did some more animals. And I may have used my Derwent Inktense, which may have splashed the other page. But because this is Tiny Tales, it's sort of fun. I use these as a testing ground and a play. You can really quickly do these little illustrations and there's no pressure. So if you're looking for a really quick, no pressure, portable version of a colouring book, grab these pocket books. They're great fun. What else did we colour? We coloured bugs. This is our bugs section, and I called this the bad bugs page. We've got our gangster blowflies, and they seem to have, I don't know if that's a picture or if that's a bug collection they've started. And here we have some vampire ladybugs, and a little dude flying a Christmas beetle, and then just a moth up there. A bit carried away with the metallic on this one too. Green metallic for their eyes, bronze metallic for them. And finally, from Tiny Tales Volume 1, we did this bugs page. This is my favourite little dragonfly. And some space bugs. Lots of little bugs. Lots of fun to colour. That's Tiny Tales 1. Well, let's have a look at Tiny Tales 2. Tiny Tales Volume 2 is Houses, Dragons, Oceans, Knickknacks and Christmas. Now this is from the Dragons section. I think I drew this for the Dragons Dreams book. This little guy in this little vine with a flower in the middle and another Christmas beetle flying along. Red and green contrasting colours, a fun little background of blended colours using Ohuhu markers. Oh, this is a fun page. Knickknacks. So we've got a train, and these are all sort of collected together. So we've got a train, and we've got a stopwatch or a pocket watch. Then we've got some luggage with a hat and a passport. So it's a themed page. And I really love that using the same colours across the page really helps pull that page together. What else did we do in Tiny Tales Volume 2? We did this page from Knickknacks, which has a little easel, a crown with a diamond. Got this scene of, I guess this is a florist shop with a moped ready for a delivery. And then we've got a skull, just to pull things back from the edge of the florist shop there. And then this is our Christmas page. I think I'd recently coloured Hurry Up Santa in all of the red, greens and golds. So I wanted to go somewhere else. I went with purples and greens. It's a little bit of a different vibe for Christmas, but I think I pulled it all off. Looks great. I'm quite fond of this snow here. Well, that's Tiny Tales 1 and Tiny Tales 2. Let's go to our Awake book. Now, this is the Sweet and Simple range. And once again, it's sort of like Tiny Tales, where the thicker lines and simpler pages, but no less fun to colour. So if you don't want to spend the hours you need to spend on a page in the signature books, just grab one of these and have fun with it. So this is Giraffe. Once again, Ohuhus and some polychromos. These being creative, artistic expression. What else did we colour? I coloured in this one called Memoir. I think we adjusted this. I think we added this circle and some pages, which is fun to do. Here's another one we did. Look, Mum, no hands. Once again, drawing motorbikes is always fun. So this little guy's out for a ride. He's going no hands, but he's secretly got a hand there. And I think we added this circle to contain this guy on this one. A fresh pot of tea. That's a happy caterpillar, isn't it? This is another favourite one. I don't think you're ready for this jelly. A fun excuse to use some bright pinks. And we did contain the background again. I didn't draw it in. I just made it a circle in the background. I'm not real fond of colouring to the edge of pages. I'd like to bring it in. Foxtrot. Orange fox. And in the night sky. And this is one we did, watching the game. Two little owls, barracking for different teams, drinking something nice and warm and eating a hot dog. And we added a sky in with like little snowflakes in behind them. I was awake. But this is also awake because, once again, I've accidentally coloured in 2 books. And this is one we did in 2025, A Productive Day. I couldn't bear to draw a grey rhinoceros, so I made the rhinoceros a lovely shade of purple. And I think this one we also added this vine in that bird. And maybe a couple of other things. I think maybe that basket even. Got carried away on that one, but it looks fun. And that's the main thing. I'm a big encourager of people taking my illustrations and just adding stuff to them. Why not? It's good fun. Let's go to Asleep. Asleep is the other Sweet and Simple book. And we did Bedtime Story from Asleep. Once again, no grey elephants here, pink elephants. I think there's a precedent for that. And I think we added that circle in the background. 3 bears. I did this one recently. Yeah, it was great fun. It's always fun to play with, like you've got all those different browns and earthy colours. Nice and simple, but so much fun, and it has a great effect in the end. Just playing with a little bit of shadow can really bring it to life. All right, what else did we colour? We coloured Cat Lady. Now I did get some Arctics alcohol markers with brush nibs, and they were fabulous. It's a pastel set, so hopefully you can use those again in the future. They were great fun. But this was one of the pages. This was an extra. This wasn't in the Colour Club packs, but I did colour it in 2025, so I was going to include it. And it's interesting to play with all those pastels. Get a different sort of vibe on an illustration. What have we got here? Iceberg, ice cream. 3 sleepy penguins on an iceberg. One's having an ice cream. One's halfway through some mackerel. What else have we got? Oh, Rockabye Baby. Now I coloured this one in this colour, but I really was a little bit overwhelmed by the vibrancy of that pink. So I coloured it again in a different colour. We'll come across that because, once again, I've accidentally coloured in 2 books. But I did colour it. I don't think I did a colour along for that one. I did this in 2024, I think, but I'm going to share it with you because I really still love it. I love that little kraken in a bath. All right, we did colour this one in 2025. A bottle of rum. Obviously, he's enjoyed a bottle of rum and is now sleeping it off. Maybe he shared it with his seagull friend. And here's an example of what happens if you forget to put a sheet of something behind your page when you're colouring with markers. Tragedy occurs, people. 40 winks. A sweet little goldfish. Who's asleep? Everyone's asleep in this book. That's why it's called Asleep. And as I said, I coloured in 2 books. Here's that Rockabye Baby picture. I toned down the pink, made it a grey horse, and brought the reds out. I think I also coloured these with Arctics coloured markers. Got a different sort of colour vibe to the Ohuhus, which is all their own. A bottle of rum I have coloured again. I'm not sure why. I think I might have done another thing where the recording didn't quite work as I'd hoped, so I was forced to colour in again in a different book. The Old Man and the Sea. I really loved doing this sort of blurry background with colourless blenders. Sort of gives that a little bit of a whimsical vibe, doesn't it? Okay. I think we're getting to the end there, guys. What else did we colour? Well, I coloured one from my Monsters pack. This is Wereslug, or the Wereslug. Of course, the Monsters doesn't have a book yet. It's just a PDF pack with 10 little monsters in it. But who knows where that could end up. One day I'll get around to, maybe we'll make another Sweet and Simple book full of monsters for you. That would be so fun, I think. And what else did we colour? Well, we did colour the Advent calendar. Now, I launched a Facebook group called the RJ Hampson Colour Club, or RJ Hampson Colour Club. And to kick off in December, because that's when we launched it, I gave everyone in the club this Advent calendar as a freebie. So if you're in the club, you could download it. And we all coloured it together throughout December as we counted down to Christmas. It was so much fun. I loved seeing everybody's pages daily, and I even joined in, posted mine. It's a fun way to do it because it's just a little bit of colour each day. And as you roll into Christmas, it really started to build as your page became more beautiful, as it was filled with colour. Well, it was a fun thing to end the year on, colouring an Advent calendar. That, friends, is the end of the story. Well, let's go through it. We coloured from Asleep. We coloured from Awake. We coloured from the Tiny Tales books. We coloured from Pirates, Fantasy Tiny Homes, Steampunk Houses, Night Garden, Dragon Dreams, Forest Song, Christmas Tiny Homes, Frog's Tale, Moonlight Mischief, Lost and Found, Serendipity, Around the World, Mountain King, Lost in Time, Steampunk Revival, Hide and Seek, and Winter Wonder. A great big stack of books, great big stack of colouring. Well, I hope you enjoyed that, guys, going through everything that I coloured in 2025. Really appreciate your support. Thanks for watching this video. Thanks for watching all the colour alongs through 2025. We will be continuing the Colour Club in 2026. But instead of colouring 6 illustrations, we're going to be colouring 4. And the Colour Club packs are available for a cheaper price to reflect that. And I am looking forward to each page we colour in 2026. Well guys, that's it from me. Hope you enjoyed seeing all that I coloured. And no doubt I shall see you in another video. But for now, I'm going to say goodbye.